Hey everyone, Financial Post. The bond market's new bet as easy money ends. Buy America, sell Canada. So as you've probably seen as of late, even Polas, our inept central banker, now all of a sudden he's had this complete reversal of fortunes where it's like he was hammering away for months, actually for years since he was brought here after we did the swap-roo with England, right? With the UK, and they got Mark Carney and we got their leftovers, Polas. But he was constantly talking up about, oh, the Canadian economy is not doing so great, so we got to keep the stimulus. We got to keep, the central bank printing fucking money and bailing out corporations and the banksters, right? And we got to keep, interest rates at rock bottom 0% or 25 basis points or 50 basis points. But it's all about, oh, we're doing this to help the Canadian economy. And all of a sudden, boom, the Americans, they're doing better, right? Trump gets in power and all of a sudden, they're starting to bump the interest rates. Federal Reserve, Janet Yellen have raised the rates 3 times in the last, not even a full year, right? So now all of a sudden, oh, damn, it looks like they're going to get some return on their investments down in the U.S. So it's like, oh, all of a sudden, hey, oh no, the Canadian economy, oh, we're doing better. Look, all of a sudden now we were sub 2%, couldn't even reach our 2% GDP inflation target, right? 2% growth. But now all of a sudden, look in 2017, boom, miraculously, look, 3.5 or 3.7% growth. Like, oh, look at how fucking fast. Now all of a sudden, oh, we better start raising interest rates. The central planning government or the central banker Polas is now, like I say, it's like, what are you, schizophrenic? Are you schizo, man? Are you bipolar? Because just like a month or two ago, you were talking about how terrible the economy was doing, even though we're at least starting to see some. It's always that, speaking at both sides of their mouth, but we're not there yet, and they were like, to the point is it'll probably be late 2018 before we can start to increase interest rates because the Canadian economy is starting to come along a little bit, but it's not going to be for at least a good year and a half before we're going to see any real growth. Then boom, fast forward, not even like a month later. Oh shit! Oh damn! I was sleeping all that time. Actually, let me correct that. The Canadian economy is now growing so fast. And actually, we're doing better than the Americans and everyone else. So, yeah, we got to get out in front and we better start raising our interest rates. So, you better get your house in order. Yeah. Like I said, why do you listen and believe these fucking idiots? Do you really think, do I need more expensive suits? Do I need more expensive ties? Would that give me more authority, more credibility? Right? You listen to these fucking assholes, and they're fucking proven wrong constantly. At least if you look through the history of my videos, you'd be like, damn, Bennett's way more right than he is wrong. Matter of fact, he's more right than any of these people with all these credentials. These central bankers, these people with way more income, with way more wealth, with way more positions of power and influence. Why is Bennett always seemingly more wiser and more astute about economics? Well, because I stick with the actual genuine fundamentals. I don't try to manipulate, distort, and completely and I don't try to separate economic realities from the politics of the day. I'll completely, like I say, I just function in the world that I live in. I don't try to create or distort it, right? These people are the ones that try to create completely false narratives and distort reality so that in the hopes that, hey, if I give you a proper narrative and you go that way, it's like, well, if I can convince someone to jump off a cliff and they do jump off the cliff, then I'm going to be like, see, I told you jumping off a cliff was a good idea because I said so, right? In reality, well, oh, wait a minute. What happened to that person that jumped off the cliff? Oh, yeah, they're splattered on the rocks down below. Probably didn't work out very good for them, but yeah, it looked like you were totally credible in that situation, right? Jesus Christ. Anyways, let's get into reading this. Like I say, headline, the bond market's new bet as easy money ends. Buy America, sell Canada. So yeah, like I said, investors realize, even though the average Canadian might not, the investors, the people that are more astute economically, they know this stuff. So you're going to see that cause-effect correlation at some stage of the game. You've probably already seen it now. Traders are dumping Canadian bonds at an astonishing rate. making them among the worst performers in developed markets' sovereign debt. An unusual trade across America's northern border is starting to become a more prominent fixture in the market for sovereign debt. It's a straightforward play. Simultaneously purchase ultra 10-year Treasury futures and sell contracts for similar maturity Canadian debt. It's a bet that U.S. bonds will outperform as the Federal Reserve slows down its pace of interest rate increases, while the Bank of Canada appears to be considering a hike as soon as next month. What's striking to traders is the size of the wagers. Each leg of Wednesday's transaction, which sent Canadian bond futures tumbling, represented about $820,000 of risk per basis point. Toronto-based traders at two Canadian banks said they believe the 9,098 contract Canadian block to be the second largest ever. They asked not to be identified because they're not authorized to speak publicly. So like I said, hey, they don't have much faith in the younger generation paying off these debts is what they're saying. It's like, hey, you fuckers are trying to offload too much debts on your future successive generations. And I don't believe that that's going to pan out very well because you fuckers haven't even taken any dose of your medication so far. You've been still living with the drug injected in your arm, right? You're not trying to even suffer through any withdrawal symptoms yet. So yeah, sorry, Canada, we're going to have to put you at the back of the bus there. The Americans, they already had to suffer a few doses of pain. They took their pain medication, and they seem to be doing a whole lot better. Like I said, the Canadians, they were just always about extending and pretending and putting forth this false narrative that, because we chose the extend and pretend, right? Keep ramping up more debts and not go through a proper correction. Oh, look at how good we are. Oh, everyone else, look, the U.S. and the European Union, they went through all these corrections and all this shit. But look at Canada, we're doing so great. No, you just chose the extend and pretend, right? Instead of taking a dose of medicine. The Americans and the Europeans, they took their dose of medicine. Not saying that it's going to help them completely. They might even be on reproach and repair, but Canadians haven't even so much as tried to attempt to take any medication. So yeah, which patient's going to die quicker? Well, I think you'll figure that one out in due time. Targeting the yield spread between U.S. and Canadian debt, which reached the narrowest since October, isn't as common as trading the difference between treasuries and bonds. German securities serve as a proxy for the euro area and react to European Central Bank policy decisions. The emergence of these cross-border flows may signal that traders are trying to get ahead of the global effort to tighten monetary policy after years of unprecedented stimulus, right? False, fake economic demand. That's what stimulus means. It's not real. That term means, go look it up. It's false, fake, government-implemented economic demand, right? And growth. So it's not real. Print money, it's bullshit is what it is. But hey, if you want to keep believing that, right? You want to keep buying that snake oil, well, you're going to be stuck with a whole lot of snake oil. Probably not. Well, try drinking it, see if that'll help you. Investors on Wednesday ramped up bets on a rate increase in Canada after Bank of Canada Governor Stephen Poloz said rates are of course, extraordinarily low, and after rate cuts in 2015, the central bank needs to consider pulling back on stimulus efforts. The market implied probability of a hike next month is about 68%, according to overnight index swap data compiled by Bloomberg. So anyways, like I said, I'm not going to read anymore. I'll post a link to this video or to this article in the description of the video below. But yeah, so you see the schizophrenic, see the contradictory reports put forth and presented by the central planners. Like this guy, Steve Poloz, he is the governor of the Central Bank of Canada, and he doesn't even seem to know what the fuck he's doing because it's all based on what's happening elsewhere. So like I say, don't place any emphasis on what these central planning fucks are trying to say or suggest, because you must know at this stage of the game that they're just lying, deceiving, they're extending and pretending, and the pretending is not just about extending as far as economic and monetary policy, but the fact that they actually know what the future is going to result and bring about. It's not true. They have no fucking clue. They're hoping, they're praying, but look at how many times throughout history their hoping and praying has failed tremendously and has caused countless pain, suffering, and even deaths to millions of people. Stop putting any of your faith, right? And I say that with knowing exactly what it means. Your faith in your central planning overlords. Do not place any faith in these people. These are not the kind of people, because whether they're right or wrong, they're going to be the ones standing back saying, hey, sorry about that. Hey, I'm still up here enjoying my entitled lifestyle, but hey, sorry that it fucked up the rest of your fuckers' life and maybe your kids and grandkids. But hey, I'll be okay. Sorry about that. Such a failure. This is Canadian Libertarian, and I love liberty.